I realized that Tweeter and the Monkey Man was originally done by the Traveling Wilburys, but a Canadian band named the Headstones did a remake of it. So that's my reason for sneaking by this lesson. It's a lot of fun to play this song. Pretty easy for beginners, and I won't be spending a lot of time with the chords. I guess I'll show you the guitar solo too, and a few little tricks here and there. Maybe that'll help you out. But here's a quick run through anyway. Now the song starts with a fairly clean sound, and he's actually doing the first position chords, which is first position E, second, second, first, and everything else is open. Then a D, fourth string open, then second, third, second. Then an A, which is second fret, second fret, second fret on the second, third, and fourth string. Everything else is open except the low E, and then back. If you don't quite like the way that sounds, you can keep it more on the lowest four strings and not play the highest high E, at least not the high E, sometimes maybe not even the high B, and it'll give you a more darker sound. Now for those of you that have a pod, I'm using the Spinal Puppet preset, and I added some Tube Screamer with the gain set at about 28% just to give it a bit more gain. Obviously you have to fiddle with your own amp. You want some kind of metal type distortion. Scoop out the mids if you have an equalizer, so crank up the bass a bit and turn down the mid range and turn up the treble a bit. That's generally the sound. Now the chords are just E, D, and A, and there's a different E. You can also use a first position E. And you can even use a first position D. Sometimes it sounds better to do that. And you just sort of play around with those chords. Everybody's ear is a little bit different, and sometimes an E up here will sound better or right to somebody, and somebody says, no, it's an E down here. So, it doesn't really matter. Whatever sounds good to you, feel free to play around with it. So the E is 7th, 9th, and 9th, just those three strings. And if you want to, you can also play the low E, because that's part of an E chord. Move it down 2 frets to a D, and then down to a first position A, which is 5th string open, and then 4th and 3rd on the 2nd fret. And you can go to a first position E, which is just 2 strings down. Now, there are times, I think, where he does less palm muting. For those of you who don't know what palm muting is, just look it up on YouTube. I'm sure there's a lesson. It means resting your palm against the bridge to give you a more muted sound. There are times, I think, during this song where he plays the first position chords and doesn't do as much palm muting. Now during the chorus, I'm hearing it this way, but you may hear it a different way. That's fine. I think he's starting on this, the higher E, and then he goes down to that first position. So that's when the walls fell down, I think, is what he's singing. And then to a D, then to an A. Okay, I think that's what he's doing there. That's one of the fills, and it starts here on the 7th fret of the E string. Then we're moving up to the 5th string, 5th fret, 7th fret, and then you're going to the 5th fret of the 4th string, and you're bending it slightly, and then back here. Another small trick that you'll hear a couple of times is you just lightly touch the low E string with your finger. You're not actually fretting anything. You're just very lightly touching it, and you're just picking with the pick, and you get that. You probably hear that in a couple of places in the mix. So, anyways, it's just picking back and forth and just lightly touching, rubbing your string, your finger on the low E string. Let's do that guitar solo. This is actually doable for beginners. It's not that hard to do. 9th fret here for your reference point. And we're doing that same riff that we did, I showed you earlier, except it's an octave down. Turn up my gain there. Alright, so once again, 9th fret here, and we're starting on the 4th string, 9th fret, and here we go to the 8th fret on the 2nd string, and we bend that note up slightly, and then back. And then 2 power chords here on the right here on the 5th fret. That's an A, and then 2 frets down to a G. Those 2 chords are the same. The 3rd time through, he changes it up slightly. Now, instead of bending this note, you just hit it really quick and then go right to the 10th fret of the 2nd string and bend it up. Then he does hits that note once, which is the 9th fret of the 3rd string, and uses a delay, I guess, or an echo or something to make the note repeat. So you can do that, or you can just sort of do it yourself and